በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አሐዱ አምላክ አሜን። ብፁዕ አባታችን አቡነ ያዕቆብ መልአከ ምሕረት ቆሞስ አባ ገብረ ኪዳን፣ አባታችን ሙሉጌታ አለማየሁ፣ ዲያቆናት፣ መዘምራን፣ የእግዚአብሔር ቤተሰቦች እንደምን አደራችሁ? እንደምን አደራችሁ? እንኳን አደረሳችሁ። የእግዚአብሔር ስም ለዘላለም የተመሰገነ ይሁን። አሁን ወንድማችን ዲያቆን ሲሳይ የእንግሊዝኛ ስብከት ይሰጣል ለልጆቹ። ሁላችንን አብረን እናዳምጠው። እንደምን አደራችሁ? እንደምን አደራችሁ? Kids, how are you doing today?
Good, thanks to God.
I'm going to need a little louder. How are we doing today?
Good, thanks to God.
Okay, so, as you guys may have heard, today's a holiday. Can anyone tell me what holiday it is? Okay, yeah, that's one. What church holiday is it? Did you hear that? She's right. Today is Michael. Specifically, it's Hidar Michael, and we have two great feasts for Michael within the year. And Michael is known as the angel of mercy, and I'll get to why that is later. But his name means who is like God, and I'll also get to that. But can anyone tell me what kind of angel Saint Michael is?
Archangel.
Archangel. And not only is he the archangel, he's the commander of God's army. And you might be thinking, why does God need an army? But actually, can someone answer that? Why does God need an army? Well, it's to obviously fight the devil. That's what's happening every day. We're fighting the devil. So in Revelation chapter 12, verse 7 to 9, it says, "And there was war in heaven, Michael and his angels waging war with the dragon. The dragon and his angels waged war, and they were not strong enough, and there was no longer a place found for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down, the serpent of old, who is called Devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him." So this is talking about when Satan and the fallen angels were cast from heaven down to earth because they had no place in God's kingdom anymore. So, in conclusion, Michael's job is to carry out God's will like the other angels. But that's not the story that I want to focus on today. I want to focus on when the Jews escaped Egypt with the help of God through his angel Michael. So, as you can see in the picture behind me, that's Kidist Michael in the back, and the small figure under him is Moses, and they're parting the sea. In Exodus chapter 14, verse 19, it says, "The angel of God who had been going before the camp of Israel moved and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud moved from before and stood behind them." And then it says, "Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and all that night the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind and turned it into dry land. The waters were divided, and the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground with a wall of water on their right and their left." So it's kind of crazy to think that a whole sea can split, but with God's power, anything is possible. But what I want you guys to take from this is that God never forgets his people. The Jews, they were in Egypt for years and years. Every day they would pray to God to free them. And finally it came. In Kidist, the deacon says, which means we pray, or we also intercede for those who migrate. And just like the Jews, many of our parents had to migrate from Ethiopia here, and God was with them, and that's why we're able to thank God every day for that. But on a much smaller scale, we can apply to our own lives. So, for example, me going to college is it's a kind of migration. And I believe God is with me throughout that journey. And you guys may have older siblings that may have left the state for work. God is with them as well. And you guys going to school every day is a sort of travel, and God is with you throughout the day as well. So to end it off, may God be with you throughout all your journeys, and may Saint Michael intercede for you and deliver your prayers.